If you or anyone you know is looking for a summer internship, Lone Star Community Radio is a great place to learn the radio and TV business. Contact the station at info@irlonestar.com or call the station's message line at 936-647-3776. Lone Star Community Radio offers a great opportunity to those interested in learning about the radio world.
Want to check out the fastest growing sport in the world? It's right here in Conroe, Texas, and it's roller derby. Conroe Roller Derby is a non-profit recreational league of women and men who want you to come and check out the fast-paced, hard-hitting game of roller derby. The Conroe Cutthroats practice at Rainbow Roller Rink on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. You can find our game schedule and more information on our website, www.conroerollerderby.com.
Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you so much for joining us on the Cindy Cochran Show. We're live, yes, we are. And this is going to be an interesting day. We're going to be asking, well, you can ask the questions, you can make the comments, and you can do that on the Facebook, the
Lone Star Community Radio, not Cindy Cochran.
Right, don't go to Cindy Cochran.
Yeah, don't ever unlike that page, actually.
No, what? You know,
I'm kidding.
Am I not on the cloud anymore? Because
I don't want to talk. We're not talking tech talk right now. Only thing I would ever tell you to do is it plugged in. That's as far as my tech talk will go. Don't ever call me Cindy for tech stuff.
Yeah, that is. He doesn't like it. He doesn't like that. He wants to have a school.
You know what? I do have a bone to pick with you, though.
Uh-oh, what?
So I don't know how many times you commented on this. Is the way you position your microphone. But now I've noticed hosts or the guests are doing it now.
Pulling it down,
and they don't talk into the mic. I think if you go to the past couple episodes of the Cindy Cochran Show, you'll see that they do that, and then they just talk and they don't know they can't hear you.
Yeah, but
they're not short like you. So so you're actually kind of. I still think your microphone practice is terrible right now because it's still pointed at your chin, but you're close enough to where you can talk into it.
Yeah.
But when the guests start doing it and I can't hear them.
Well, these microphones, because you can't lower them.
I mean, but you're fine.
It's hard to see them and
see, what's weird to me is, so your logic is you can't see them, so you point it down. Now point it up. Point it like how it's supposed to be. You actually can now see them better because the tail of the microphone isn't pointing straight up like a dog going to the restroom. So I think you're good.
Okay. All right. So, I'm just letting you know that
habit is causing bad production for your show.
No, it's not.
And it's giving people bad habits.
I'm listening to it to see about the audio, and you may not be paying.
And I might have to make a rule if anyone's recording after you can't do that because they'll come in and not fix it.
Oh, and they won't.
And they won't because they don't know. They don't realize.
They'll go like, "Why all of a sudden I want chicken, Max?"
Well, that's one thing I love talking about Armando. Shout out to Armando from Texas Ticket. I had to tell him, I was like, it doesn't matter how loud you yell. If you're not talking into the mic, it won't really pick it up. Because he always does this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, no, it's not picking it up, man.
He is loud. His level is so much.
He has a lot of energy.
Yeah.
So, but I was like, but hey, regardless of your energy level, you still got to talk into the microphone. Like, you can yell all you want, but it's got to be into the mic.
Well.
So shout out to him. He's coming in. He's got a great lineup this week, unlike you.
Oh, No, you shouldn't say.
I'm just kidding. You have a great lineup.
Oh my goodness, B.
We got B. Rouse tomorrow. I haven't seen her. I want to say in like 8 years.
It has to be at least. It has to be that.
I want to say 8 years.
Right. I think you're right.
And you know one thing I don't like about her? She knows too much.
She really does. She knows.
Well, okay.
All the
let me ask you
bodies
this.
are buried.
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
Is it and don't take this the wrong way, guys. Okay. Is it an old person thing, or is it a generational thing? Where I've noticed that, especially like my grandfathers, when they were both alive, they could recall and tell stories about people, and they're always great stories, but they always say names and places, and I'm like, I couldn't tell a story from 5 years ago and have that much detail.
Something happens where all these things come back to you.
Is that what it is?
Yeah,
so it's like
it's
an
all
age
been
thing.
there.
It's an age thing. It's not a generational thing.
I think it's an age thing.
Because it freaks me out when people talk like that. Because B's one of those people where she can tell you, she could tell you who was in all the rooms, and then like what people were in the room, what position they held at their job, that kind of thing. And I'm like, that's too much information. Like, especially when you meet famous people, I'm like, yeah, maybe I met him, but I don't really know where I was. Or like Lorenzo Lamas, I met him, but I don't really know what day it was, what I was doing that day. I just remember meeting him. I was like, holy crap, that's Lorenzo Lamas. Because I'm a big fan. But yeah, you understand what I'm talking about?
Yes, and because I'll be talking to someone and they'll go, who's the guy that was on and I went, it was so-and-so. And I'll go like, how did I remember that name? Because I can't remember my kids' names that call it the right name.
Oh, you know what I'm worse with now is I'm forgetting my nieces and nephews' names, and then especially my friends' kids.
Yeah,
because like I don't really see my friends as much as I used to.
Oh yeah,
and they're having more than one kid. I know like the first kid's name, but when it comes to like the fourth kid, I'm like I'm not gonna lie, I don't know who the hell this kid is.
But your nieces and nephews, that they're there every day, you should be able to.
Yeah, maybe.
Call
I
them.
mean, there's a couple that I just go blank on because I have 16 or 17. I don't even know how many I have.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, y'all got such a big family.
What's weird to me is when people start having children, I would say traditionally the first kid's name is always just like a standard name, like John. But then when you get to like the third kid, they're like, oh, we got to make it crazy. Let's do like, for example, I said the wrong name. I said Madeline the other day. And my mom was like, who is Madeline? Is that some girl you know? And I'm like, no, Madeline. I was talking to her on the phone and like, oh, you have a new girlfriend? I'm like, no, Madeline, your granddaughter. She's like, we don't have a Madeline. You mean Madison? And I was like, ooh.
Madison. Oh, that's close.
Well, because she's getting to the age now where I can talk to her on the phone. And it's
always
fun.
Awesome.
Always fun to talk to like 5-year-olds on the phone. You know what she said? It was the funniest thing because I always do the normal. How was your day? Tell me about it. Tell me what was your favorite thing. And like in the middle of her telling me about going to the market, she's like, "Oh my gosh, Uncle Richard, Cinnamon pooped on the carpet." And I'm like, Cinnamon pooped on the carpet. It was a great conversation. I always like talking poop.
They'll tell you everything.
Oh, it was great. And I was like, why didn't you stop her? Well, I wasn't in the room. And I go, how would you have stopped her? Would you put it back in? Would you put
Richard, I think
well, you got to train these kids to think and have action in their thinking. It's
to
like
respond.
It's like we got to clean it right now. What do we need to clean it? How do we properly clean this poop off the carpet? So once you teach them that really young, you don't have to deal with it. Like they'll just do it themselves.
Troubleshooting.
Isn't that great?
It's a good idea.
It's like, do you know where the cleaner is? You're 5 years old. Don't drink it. But you got to clean the poop.
You go get it, but don't drink it on the way back. Yeah. And don't eat those little things that are in
the Hershey Kisses.
No,
okay.
the things that you wash clothes with, and they're in those
pods.
packed. Yeah, the pods. Oh.
It was funny. I was watching. This is another conversation. So I've been watching stuff on Hulu, and Amazon now has ads. I don't know if you're aware of this. Amazon Prime has ads. Well, I started getting targeted ads, and this is two common. The first ad I started getting was the Tide Pods.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, in a new secure twist top, and it shows like a baby almost eating the Tide Pod. I was like, is that really smart? Because I know that was a thing,
Right.
a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And then and I was having a conversation while watching the football games this week, and my buddy was complaining about all the ads because we watched the Chiefs. I don't know if anyone watched the Chiefs game and the Ravens game, like there were ads. I feel like every minute, and I was saying this is like I feel like there's a lot more ads, and it got
right.
it got ridiculous, and I was like, because basically what was happening is every time there was a timeout or a player on the field, we're like, okay, let's just watch something else because it's gonna be ads for 2 minutes. And then I go, but we gotta be thankful that they're not targeted ads like they are online, because when you start binging shows, you get the same ads.
That's
And
right.
I told Kurt, I was like, what's funny is if no one knew who I was and just saw the ads I get over and over and over, they're gonna think I need therapy, I have erectile dysfunction, and I have hair loss. And it's just like that's all I get, and it's the funniest thing.
The only reason you would get that is because you searched something.
No, I don't know. I have no because I think what it was is when I started looking up the hair loss stuff because we were talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think is like this company that's all they do. They do erectile dysfunction and hair loss, and we've talked about the mints.
Right.
We talked about, so that's the only thing I can think of. But I get it over and over. And I'm thinking, like, it's almost like it's brainwashing me. I'm like, and then there's therapy ones. It's like, it's betterhelp.com. Like, and then my favorite one, this is how targeted they are. Oh, are you newly single? Don't worry about it. You can still get help. And I'm like, wait, is it wrong being single? I'm so confused what they're trying to tell me.
Oh.
But it is the funniest thing because it's, because like, can you imagine going to the therapist and just be like, you don't understand what's going on? It's like, what? It's like, I don't know if I have ED. But the world keeps telling me I have ED.
That's right.
And there's no way to prove it.
Who should I believe?
Like, how do I prove it?
Mm-hmm.
And
That's. Have you seen the?
what,
I've got to find out. Have you seen the poop? I think it's
Yeah, we talked about it. We talked about it.
PH, the one that sprays and once it takes all the odor out.
No, I've seen the poopery.
Okay, yeah, the poopery is, but this is like amazing. I mean, the ads are, and they just put it in Walmart, so now they're advertising. You can go to Walmart and get it. And
Well, the poopery doesn't make any sense to me
why?
because, like, as a guy, you're always trained to spray after.
Yeah,
But the whole
instead
point of
before.
poopery is always before. And I'm like, and I remember having a discussion with a girl I was with at the time, and I go, let me tell you something about when I go to the restroom. That's not the first thing I'm going to think of because she got mad I wasn't using the poopery. And I was like, when I'm going, I'm going. It's not the first thing. Like, I haven't been trained where I'm like, oh, I got to stop what my body wants to do real quick.
That's right.
And grab this and make sure I spray enough inside. You just spray it in. I'm sitting there going like, this is the worst idea. And this is going to sound sexist. I was like, this is the most feminist product I've ever heard because everything has to be nice and clean before we use the toilet. And guys don't care. They're like, whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, I get that. Like, I've always been, like when I gotta go, I gotta go, and to have to think about doing anything else except getting the door open and closed, and that's it. That,
Yeah.
talk to me.
That's
like
not
that.
my demographic. The poopery is not my demographic.
But this poof thing it takes out any,
I'm
like
looking- I'm
odors in
looking
the
at it.
kitchen. POOPH, maybe?
Yeah, it's POOPH.
Okay.
Say goodbye to odor.
Say goodbye to odor, yes. And the ad they have, because he's outside and he's telling people, he said, this is pure ammonia, and they smell it and they go like, oh my God, they'll fall over. And then he sprays that and has been smelled again, and they said it's gone.
Well, it's really weird. As I look it up and I click on videos, there's like reviews.
What?
I looked up POOPH.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I want to see this ad you're talking about. And so I try to find the ad, and like the top 5 are like product review. Like, I don't want to know this.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's great.
I'm sorry.
Now I'm going to get that. Now I have BM problems, and they're going to be like, does your BM stink?
That's your BM's. I hadn't heard that. In a long time.
I think that's a medical term, so we're allowed to say it.
So no, I just hadn't heard. We used to say that our neighbors would say that, and I would go like,
Well, you
so
have to agree.
weird.
There's certain words that you can communicate in public, and people won't get offended by it, but they'll understand because you're trying to say like, I have to go.
Yeah, I have to number 2, number 1. That's one way to do it.
Yeah.
That was always numbering it, and then
I think that should be your new thing, Cindy.
What?
Is when everyone says, "Oh, I have to go," and you're going to be that person that always asks, "Is it number 1 or number 2?" But like, regardless of who it is, you got to be.
I do that. I do that with all the kids.
Basically, I want you to think of yourself as a kindergarten teacher,
Okay.
and everyone around you is a student.
Okay.
So you got to make sure, like, are you going number 1 or number 2?
Okay, I like that.
You think you can do that?
I do it with the kids already. So what do you have to do with? Like, it's not your business. I had what number. You just tell me what
that's
number.
great.
But anyway, I had some things I wanted to talk about today.
Yeah, right.
I did. I really did. But first, we want to say thank you so much to Chris Wootton, who will be here on the 15th. And he's going to come talk about this is going to
financial advice?
Tell me, yes, financial advice. Because he's the Wootton Financial Group's CEO, so he has all the knowledge of over 21 years of having a successful business in the Conroe area. And so I said, you need to come on and talk about how the interest rates are going whack. Everybody's just so scared about what the feds are going to do with the interest rates because it was going along and they weren't touching anything for a while. But I don't know. It's as bad as like the immigration problem and Joe Biden saying, I can fix this tomorrow. I can fix it today.
That's a go-getter.
That's what he said.
That's a go-getter.
And he says, I can fix this today, but the Congress will not sign the bill I put in there, and it's all their fault. Yeah, there you go. And the reason the Congress comes on, they come on and go like, okay, here's the deal. He sent us a bill, but in this bill he puts in there that he wants to have 5,000 illegal immigrants be let in each day, and not that 5,000 can come in a day. That doesn't compute.
I like it. I like the idea of it's kind of like the Hunger Games where someone gets selected. So you have just imagine the visual of thousands and thousands of people.
That.
And it's like, all right, guys, it's Monday. That means 5,000 people get through.
We're going to have a contest. And you can, we'll see if you get in or not.
It's almost like, what was that popular Netflix series where they?
Yes, that was so good.
I just went blank. Whatever it's called. It was like in South Korea, I think it was.
Oh, what was it?
I gotta look it up now.
Now you have to. He's got to look it up. But that just doesn't compute at all, and it just says what they're doing. They just want to have more and more votes. And they need to call them
whatever
illegal votes.
I don't think it was Squid Game.
Squid Game, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Is that what we should do? Is that what you?
That's what we should. I'm telling you.
But you get all your news from Fox News, so we can't really think.
I do not either. I watch all of them.
Sure.
To see the lies
TikTok's
that the others
even
are.
worse.
Oh, no! I don't know how TikTok gets on my phone, and I don't understand it because I didn't. I eliminated it from
like an app. You deleted the
app.
Okay.
Eliminated the app, but people send me things. I think on TikTok, and I open it up, and then at the end of it,
TikTok has a
it goes
website,
TikTok.
so you can watch TikTok on a website. It probably opens your browser.
Well,
and there's TikTok, but it's not installed.
I know.
And that's what I do. I mean, because one thing I absolutely hate about TikTok is it's so loud and abrupt when you open it. It's just like instantly going, and I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa! I don't want to watch this. And it's like I hate it.
Well, I feel bad. I need to take that Johnny Carson interview off because Cindy put it on there, and it was she did a good job of editing it down to what they accept, but it was I shouldn't have it on there. I haven't gone to it. It got like 1,600 views like immediately. It was. I see why Bob Smiley was talking about going on TikTok because it's so fast how many people you get looking at it and all. So that's the draw of the temptation of wanting to be on TikTok. But
Well, I mean, there's some funny stuff on the internet. It's like it's a great place to find if you want a quick laugh. Some of the stuff is hilarious.
some of it is like Reels. When you go through Reels, they only show you like the first part one, and then
I don't.
you never get to see.
I don't go on there
Yeah.
for myself because, like I said, all I get are therapy stuff. And,
As soon as you put your name.
well, no, it's just like, oh, it's so funny to me. And then, but yeah, I just don't do that because I don't want to look at that all day. It makes me depressed. I'm like, it's brainwashing me. Like, do I really need to get there? What's going on?
You need to stop looking at it then. Just don't look at it anymore.
I know I don't.
Oh, you
That's
stop.
what I'm saying.
I mean, but you stop
But
looking
people
at
send me stuff, and I'm like, okay, cool. And then you go to the next one, and it's like completely opposite. It's like the mountains are big and blue. You can climb them. And I'm like, cool.
Charlie Cash sent the funniest bit. It was from an old SNL. You know the guy that was the priest on SNL. He wore a big hat like from a priest, and I can't remember. He was Spanish or whatever he was, Italian. You know who I'm talking about? The guy from SNL.
I have no idea. Pope? I don't know.
He was. I'm telling you one thing. This is what you gotta do. You gotta do this. And his deal now is, he's saying, you know what? I'm gonna start a new college. It's a college that you can finish in 3 months. And here's what we're gonna do, because all the stuff they give you, they could do it in 15 minutes. The classes are stupid. You should never have to go more than 15 minutes in the class. Okay, and so he starts going through. Here's what this economics would be this, and it was hilarious. And I thought, oh, I wish we could play that on the show, but I know that Richard would go, Cindy, I'm not going to tell you again. We can't play videos on the show, so I didn't.
Oh, we
ask
can.
him.
We can't really have audio on it.
Well, it wouldn't be funny without the audio.
Yeah.
So.
We can show the visuals, but
It wouldn't be the same thing. But
you know what? We showed some great tomorrow on Audience of One. We talk about wife carrying competitions.
wife.
Oh,
wife.
Yeah, this is a real thing. Here, I'm gonna show you this video, and I'm gonna show the public. Actually, I'm not gonna show the public because we gotta tune in tomorrow. But let me show Cindy this. And I want you to just think of this visual. I'm going to show the public, too. I'm pulling it up right now. Basically, Andrew loves finding, like, obscure sports. And apparently this is a big deal. Man, there's a lot of ads. Look, but see, I'm not getting – at the station, I don't get the depressing ads. I get, fun things. Check out the bear. Let's see. All right, let me show you this. You're going to love this. I want to find it where they actually show the race. This is how they carry these husband and wife teams. So basically, the husband carries the wife through a race.
Through a race?
Through like a race, like obstacle courses, water, and all this kind of stuff.
And the husband has to carry her.
And so watch how this is the strategy. Everyone's learned. Everyone's learned how to properly carry the. And what I love is if I rewind it in the back, I want to show you because this is like teamwork, right? So I want you to notice the two teams right here in the water. And so they're running, and then, okay, look. This guy in the front, his wife is completely submerged.
She's submerged.
She's submerged, right? And if you look at the guy in the back, the wife is planking herself to be horizontal with the water. So she's not submerged. But if you watch it, the guy in the front does not care his wife is underwater.
Well, when he comes out of water, can you see her head?
Like he doesn't care one bit. He's like, I'm trying to get through this water, and you're just gonna be drowning. So hold your breath. But
That's terrible.
But like what I love about this is look how. If I met someone doing this and it was the wife, see, she's like on his shoulders, which is cool. That person just jumps in with her face on his butt, and see,
oh, these guys have got to be so strong.
And now it's like, oh, let's go slow over this though. I don't want to hurt her head.
Bump her head as a go over.
Oh, but yeah, so we were watching that, and I was thinking to myself, it's like, what's the most awkward situation you've ever been in with your significant other? And I'm thinking to myself, if I ever did that, I'd be like, yeah, my face was on my husband's butt for like 3 minutes, just being smacked, just going, ugh.
That's fine. And y'all are going to do that tomorrow?
We talk about it tomorrow. It's great. It's going to be a good show tomorrow.
Okay.
10 a.m.
It's 10 a.m.?
10 a.m. It's
That's
available
a
on
shameless plug. Do you ever plug?
But I wanted to bring you a good laugh. When I saw that, because I knew it,
was
I've
great.
heard of it, I just didn't know how ridiculous it was.
No, I love that. I love that's great.
But what I love is because Andrew does a lot of research for Audience One, and he's talking about the different positions they get in to like run the race efficiently. And apparently that's the real popular one. And I think he called it the Histonian or something like that. But that's like where the legs are over next to your cheeks, and then like they're upside down. And but when you see those people jump into the water with like
they're not there.
Do you tell your wife like, "Hey, hold your breath," woo, and then just jump in
because she can't see anything that's going on. Yeah,
she's in his butt.
That's right. Her head's hit. Oh, that's something.
See, if I had a friend that did that, like a friend with his girlfriend or wife or whatever, I would go there, take a picture of it, and frame it, and put it in their house. And I'm like, but it has to be like the real great face she has. Like she's like, so if people walk in and be like, what exactly is going on? She has like the bicycle helmet on. Like, what's going on in this picture, guys?
What have y'all up to? Okay, now
you don't think you and Sam are gonna do that?
Not anytime soon. No, that would never.
Did y'all ever do like a three-legged race or anything? I feel like I've done one of those.
Yes, I have. I've done a three-legged race.
Was there one with potato sacks too?
And
I know there's a sack race, but wasn't there one you had to do with another person? It wasn't just like an individual sack race.
No. Well, I thought the sack race and the three-legged race is they both put one leg into the sack. And then
that's what I'm saying. I remember that was kind of the combo, or they just might tie your legs together.
I never saw that. The one leg was from each of the partner.
Yeah, I get you now.
That was, that they were covered up. But while you're sitting there, try and find
Father Guido. Sardisi.
That was it. Okay, do you see him?
That's props to listener Dennis.
Dennis, thank you so much. Oh, that's great. But do you see him on stage, and do you see it say anything about college? He's going to start a new college.
We can't play the audio. I don't understand why you keep asking me this. And 5-minute university. I mean, I found the video.
That's it. The 5-minute university.
I'm not gonna play it.
It is the funniest. Okay, well,
but you'll probably forget I said that in 5 minutes from now, and you'll be like, "Hey, can you play that?"
Do you think I'm getting dementia?
No, I think you just get overly excited, and when you get overly excited, these two holes on the side of your head, they close.
Shut up.
They close, or they completely open and they go in and out.
That may be it. There's a sign for that.
Yeah.
Did you see the
that's
video?
Real creative.
Did you see the video of the lady that they hired to interpret a press conference? The police are talking about a murder that happened and what the update of it was going to be.
Was this recent?
Recent.
Okay.
Very recent. And she's standing over there. Well, someone sent me the video of it, and so I'm sitting there. I didn't know why they sent it to me, except this lady's signing, and I look over and I go, like, what is she saying? What? That
It's probably the European Sign Language.
Didn't make sense. Well, they find out that they got so many complaints because people said she wasn't saying anything correct. She wasn't an interpreter. And they found out she was just a fraud. She did a lot of fraudulent things in her past.
I hope those checks cashed
quickly before they found out.
Yeah.
But it was like when Nelson Mandela They had.
Yeah, I remember that.
Remember that?
Yeah.
That's what it reminded me of. And so, like when Saturday Night Live came out and they did the thing where they did the news for the deaf, and they would go, "So good evening, everyone. Welcome to the news for the deaf," and then the guy in the circle goes, "Welcome everybody to the news for the deaf," and that was how they did it. And people started calling me saying they're doing sign, they're talking to the deaf people, and they didn't get it. I mean, it was hard for people to get it, like what they were doing. But everyone had to say, "Did you see it? Do you know these people?" Or it was interesting, an interesting time. Now,
Okay. What else you got for me?
this is what I got. I have this. I'm sure everyone's heard about the 3 chief fans from the football fans that died in the backyard of the guy who invited them over to his house, to have a party, to have a football party.
And how'd they die?
Well, here's what they're doing autopsies on all 3 of them. But all 3 of them were out in the backyard. It's snow. I mean, they were frozen to death, and but they don't know what happened to them because the guy who owns the house didn't find them for 2 days.
Oh, this is crazy. I'm
For 2
reading about it.
days. Yeah, for 2 days they didn't find him, and so he slept, and they left. And he said the only thing I can remember them going out the door, and that's all I remember. But I just went to sleep, and I was passed out for hours and hours and hours. So this doctor comes on, forensic guy, and he says, "I think what's happened is they all took some recreational drug, and the guy slept it off, and he was okay. But the other 3 left and passed out in the snow, and they died from
Yeah, because
freezing to death."
what's strange is it made it sound like a couple days later, one of the guy's fiance went to the
Yes.
house looking for them. There was no answer at the door, so she broke into the basement of the residence and located an unknown dead body on the back porch. Officers responded to the back porch call and confirmed it was a dead body. Upon further investigation, the officers also located 2 other bodies in the backyard afterwards. So this lady sees a dead body, freaks, calls the police, stays right there. Police come, then they actually kind of search around and they find the other 2 bodies.
Right. And there was someone else there, but they left early. So they don't know who supplied the drugs because they feel sure they're going to find it was, alcohol and drugs.
yeah.
And they passed out.
And this was 3 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. They still don't know. Man, that's crazy.
Now, I don't understand that. I would think that autopsy would be quick and...
Additional 6 or more weeks is to receive a toxology report.
Oh, my word.
Yeah.
So that's what I was wondering. Now, what would you do if you were the officer coming and you come upon this and then you find these 2 other
I
dead
would be
bodies?
like, this is a syndicate hit, and there's a local drug ring going on, prostitution drug ring, and these guys are involved.
Would you first ask? I would ask, was the front door and the back door locked?
Yeah, she couldn't get in, so she broke in.
No, I'm saying she couldn't get in the front, but was the back door locked? They went outside, so this guy must have locked the door, and he said he just passed out on the couch and he didn't know what had happened. And so, if the doors were locked, that would be weird.
I mean, I don't know. It sounds strange.
Well, it was a party and
I feel
everybody
sorry
got
for that
drunk.
one guy who's alive and probably has no idea, and everyone thinks he killed him. He's like,
No, that's he's lawyered up, isn't that? Yeah, and so they've got they're asking him a lot of questions, and he was out. He said, "I was passed out."
Maybe they were partying in The Shining at the hotel, and they all went insane and they froze to death.
Yeah, that was it.
That could be it.
I love.
You love that end scene when Jack Nicholson just
I love
frozen
how
in the
Richard-
maze.
Yeah, that was a scary movie. But you know what? The book was scarier.
You know what's even scarier than that, though?
What?
There's a great, I forgot what it's called, about Mount Everest documentaries. It's a documentary, a recent one, probably about 4 or 5 years ago, and they talk about the bodies of Everest and how when people climb, you can throw like a football at bodies that are just kind of hunched over because they froze to death, and you don't remove them because there's no way to remove it. Like, you're so high up there.
They don't remove
No,
them.
and there's like 50 plus bodies up there,
No.
just hanging out. Yeah,
No.
like that.
Is everything preserved? Like, because it's frozen?
they're completely frozen. Yeah.
So there's no deterioration of the.
Well, I don't know about that. I don't know how close you can get to them, but I know like you can see them on the hike. Like,
Is there a video of that?
I don't know. Okay, let's look.
I mean, where'd you see it?
It was on the documentary. The whole thing was about the people who've died on Everest and like why they died, where they died, and it shows you like, because a lot of people can't really visualize Everest because number A, like most of us aren't mountain climbers,
Right.
and two, that's not just climbing a mountain. Like, you're climbing one of the tallest mountains, which takes a lot of time and effort.
Skill too. Oh my goodness. It reminds you of.
There's 200 bodies on Mount Everest. Yeah.
Do they show them?
Oh. So there's a famous one called Green Boots. And I'm not going to show the picture on, you can look it up. I'll show Cindy. So there's Green Boots right there. They all have nicknames. So if you look up Green Boots, it's a body of unidentified climber that became a landmark on the main.
He became a landmark?
Yeah, he did. That's what I'm saying. Like, and you just see it, and they're like, there it is. There's the guy.
And they don't know how old how old these are. What was the oldest one? How long's the longest body been there?
Oh, I imagine a long time.
Not the longest body. The body who has been there the longest.
I don't. Well, yeah, 200 people. Apparently, 200 bodies.
200 bodies. You're climbing and you're just about to make.
Like, to me, that's creepy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's horrible. It would be kind of interesting though to see how. It reminds me of. The volcano that erupted and all those people that died, and they were, in different stages of their life, and they're holding babies, they're holding each other, and they were encased in volcanic ashes.
Oh yeah,
it was so bad.
What got me thinking about this too is Andrew and I we talk all the time, and we apparently someone took their 2-year-old to Mount Everest.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, the breathing, I would think.
Yeah, I think I read that the other day. Yeah, 2-year-old believed to be the youngest person to ever reach the Everest base camp. Maybe, it wasn't
the base camp.
Camp.
Okay.
Because that's what I want to do with my 2-year-old is.
Yeah.
And he can be the youngest body on Mount Everest.
I want my 2-year-old to be the youngest body.
He wore
terrible.
Green, you're going to wear red.
Well, this is what is, the temperature, the temperature of the body drops so fast especially where this house was. Where do the Chiefs, Kansas City Chiefs?
Yeah, it gets cold there.
Well, if they got out there and they're really drunk, they really don't know what they're doing, and they pass out, and that body temperature drops so fast that would be probably like a really humane way to go. Because I remember when we had hamsters, and these hamsters kept having babies, and so someone told me, put them in the freezer, and that's the most humane way to kill them, because their body temperature goes and then they pass out. And
Okay.
So imagine what a human being, when your body temperature goes, so go you. That's so sad.
Oh, it's crazy. Like, I want to see what the documentary was.
You want to see what?
Well, I want to see what the name of the documentary was for Everest.
Oh, yeah.
because it was just like it was so depressing. And again, it's one of those like only crazy people do that. Like because they interview people like climbing, and they're just like, "Oh yeah, look, the screen boots." Oh hey, like I don't know.
And like once you've done that, see that the kids at church, teenagers at church, have to go through these exercises, and they go through a competition, and then they go through people saying, "Okay, I think you could make it up this mountain that they're going to climb." And the church, the youth groups go and they climb these mountains, and they have all the criteria they have to pass is so, wow. So you have to be really in good shape.
Oh yeah,
to climb that stuff.
Well, it's one of those things similar to any extreme sport, like the weather plays a giant part in it.
Yeah.
So you can clear day, I guess, or you can really get some ground. But then I think that's a lot of times the people who died actually made it to the top, but then the descent, the weather got worse, and they're exhausted because they got to the top.
Right.
And then they don't have the speed to get down fast enough.
And the air thins out, right?
Yeah.
It's the higher up they go.
Yeah.
And there's the tree lines. What about the tree lines that the higher you go, and how there's no more tree line? You're like, you're too high. You've gone too high. But I think that I feel so, I think it's such a sad story. Good grief. And they're going to play on the 8th. When's the Super Bowl? 11th of February?
Yeah, I think so. I have no idea, to be honest.
You're not gonna watch it. You're not having a big party.
I don't really. I mean, we're gonna make some food and watch it, but I don't know. Yeah, sorry.
But you're not gonna be drinking.
I think it's called The Dark Side on Everest. I think that's the documentary.
Ooh.
Because it's like it wasn't a happy documentary. It was very weird.
Did you meet people that you found out later died after they got to the top?
Me?
No. Did you meet in the documentary? Did they?
I think that's what they just talk about, like how dangerous it really is. And people think it's like, oh, I want to go climb one of the wonders of the world. I can do anything, and it's like, no, you can't.
Yes.
You can't.
No, that would be one you couldn't do. Well, I've got to tell you.
Would you be impressed if I climbed Everest, or would you think I'm just an insane person?
No, I'd just be afraid for you. I'd worry every day that you wouldn't be back and we wouldn't be able to do the show.
Like, for example, like when I meet people who've done the Ironman, I'm like, that's really impressive. Like that's a feat. That's a physical feat.
Yeah.
But if someone told me they climbed Everest, I'd be like, you're insane.
Yeah, I mean that's too dangerous.
You got to screw loose, bro.
Yeah. No, that's too dangerous.
Did you get in a submarine? Like it's controlled by a little Xbox controller? That's insane. I wouldn't do that.
You go to Disney World, you can get into a submarine. They have,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 1,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Oh, yeah.
You can go underwater. Ugh, I can't stand being in those kind of places you can't get out and say, could you go up top and let me just get out just for a little while? I'll get back in. That's horrible. I can't go into a doctor's office. I have to go open the door and keep the door open while I'm in the office. I don't think I'm claustrophobic, but I think that may be a sign of it. But I have to know what everybody's doing on the outside, and I want to see them walk up and down, and I want to hear what they're talking about. I'm just nosy. That's it. I'm just nosy. But I wanted to say tomorrow, because Bea Rouse is going to be here.
Yeah.
We have to talk about Bea, and she's done so many things. She works with the Montgomery County Historical Society, and so she wanted people to go to that website to learn more about Montgomery County. I just decided I'm going to wait till she comes here and she can tell us all about it.
That's going to be a good show. And then Gary Parker and his buddy doing Shattered Light. I helped Gary, I want to say like 13 years ago, maybe 12 years ago.
helped him?
I helped him film Shattered Lives.
You did?
Not the one he's currently making, not the miniseries, but the actual school program. And so
I remember seeing those. That was so impressive and how smart it was.
I will never forget. So if people don't know what this is, there was a school program that happened across Montgomery County and also other areas. Basically, what they did was they reenacted a drunk driving incident, and it was full on production. So basically, what they would do is over by in the parking lot one morning, they would bring out these cars that have been burned and like upside down and fake bodies, and basically they would do the protocols. Like they would call the school, and the school would make an announcement about like so and so.
But they weren't fake bodies. They were student
volunteers.
bodies.
That's right.
Yeah, volunteers.
Well, see, they would do this without filming or anything. It'd just be like, this is just a thing, a demonstration to show people, like, hey, how this ripple effect happens when you drive drunk. It doesn't just affect the person who dies. It affects all the family and whatever. The one time he goes, hey, I need someone to film it. And I'll never forget sitting there with the camera on my shoulder, and they're trying to show all these kids, and I'm like, do I get closer to the dead body or do I because I don't want to be. Because they're trying to make it real.
Right.
Then you see me in the background, like, let's get right on this guy's fingertips into the gravel and his dead hand. And
well, that's what Channel 13 would have done.
Yeah,
so.
like get some great shots.
Yeah.
But I'm like in front of these people who are somewhat crying. I'm like, shut up! I'm trying to get a good shot here. And
they have
he's halfway hanging out of the window,
and they get the parents involved.
Oh,
and the parents come out to see their child has been killed, and how they respond, and that I'm so anxious, though. The kids today, would they respond the same way as they did a long time ago? I mean, because of the games they play, of all the horrible
say that again?
Violence. The kids today, the students today, having that happen, would they immediately go, oh, this is so lame, it's so fake, I don't know.
Well, I think also it's, like, unfortunately for the effect, it has to really happen.
Right.
Because they try to do their best, and I think it was more of just an awareness. Like, that's the message from what I understood. They were sending us just awareness that, again, this doesn't just happen to one person. This happens to the whole school.
Right.
So, which I thought was a great message, because a lot of people don't think about that.
Sure.
And, but after that message, they don't really like, oh, I'm still going to drink and drive.
Well, I think that because of the way the kids are.
Do kids even drink anymore? Like, they're always on their devices, so I feel like there's no socializing.
Well, they have waited out the laws for the weed and things like that.
We're
they
still
can,
waiting it out.
Yeah, that they can go ahead and smoke now. But if they all have the gummies, the CBD gummies that they're taking, I don't know. It's so crazy because the kids, and getting drunk and mixing all the stuff they mix, and then find out that if you buy anything like any kind of amphetamine on the street, that's not laced with fentanyl.
It's funny. You always bring that up, like it's like laced with fentanyl, but not mine. You always say that.
But not what?
Because are you trying to talk to your group of people that you sell to? Is that like on your calling card? Like, not mine though.
That is so bad. That is so bad. I do not take drugs. I don't sell drugs. It's not in my back of my trunk. It's not a body in the trunk.
That's what they all say, though. They always say that.
No, I can just hear.
But no, Gary's going to be on Thursday, though. Let's remind folks. And they're making it into a mini series.
Yes.
I think that's good.
And the people, the channel that's carrying this has about 6 million people. B knows all about this. So she can, they have 6 million.
Yeah, she's a details lady. You're not.
Huh?
She's a details lady. You're not.
Yes, she is. She knows everything. But now I knew Gary back at Channel 13.
Yeah.
That's where he worked, and I hadn't seen him for forever until.
Yeah, I'm excited about seeing him.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great. I cannot wait.
Should we reenact a drunk driving accident here?
right here. Yeah, my car looks like that's what happened to it. Samantha accidentally backed into the Suburban. No, she backed into Chad, her brother's car, and it got really scratched up. It looks like before and after on the sides of the car, but it's so sad. I just can't imagine what it would cost to fix that whole side.
Cost
she
money.
didn't mean
Cost
to do
money,
that.
that's for sure.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you the time that when I want to say, like I was 20, and I went to a friend's house, and some kids in the neighborhood drew a male key to my car, drew like a male part.
Private part?
Private part.
Oh.
And the private part was going number 1. And it was like right there on my car, like driver's side door. And I thought it was the funniest thing.
No, they etched it with.
They keyed it in. They keyed it in.
Oh.
And
Were they mad at you?
There's 2 things I'll never forget about that. Like I remember looking at it and I was like, man, that's wild. And I go, but it kind of looks like one of those spinny hats, when they had a little propeller on it. And so they're not really good. They're not a good artist. And then I remember driving home. I was driving home, and I was in the right lane, and the guy, and my friend who didn't see it was in the left lane. And I remember him looking over at me. He's like waving, and then he's like, "Is that
you?"
And then
no.
and then I drove the car home, and my parents saw it, and they're like, "Richard, do you know you have that on the side of your door?" I'm like, "Yeah, I know I have it." He's like, "Well, aren't you going to fix it?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's going to cost about $1,400 to fix it." And I was like, and guess what? I don't have $1,400, and I'm at peace with it. And I want to say for at least 2 months, I was driving around with that thing. Oh yeah,
for 2 months.
And my mom was so embarrassed. She's like, the police might pull you over because that is indecent, and they're gonna. And I was like, Mom, it's $1,400. Like that's such a waste of $1,400. I'd rather just wait until I sell the car, and then I'll be done.
Well, at least you did that, and you didn't say like, "Mom, it's a chick magnet. That's just it's fine."
It's also my name. So it's like it's.
Oh that's right. Oh shoot.
And man, that was because I think what happened was we were all going to like a family gathering celebration thing, and I was driving, and my mom was like, "You're not driving your car," because it was big. Like it was big on the side of the door. Oh, it was so funny. But yeah, and eventually all this, and I learned this. This is how you do it. Like when problems like that arise, it's like I don't really care about that. Like that's just part of the car. It's a funny story, whatever. And then eventually my mom and my dad were like, "We'll pay for it." I'm like,
there you go.
I go, "You can pay for it all you want.
Wait a
but
minute.
I don't ever want you to bring it up about how I owe you $1,400 because
that's a good point.
I refuse.
You're exactly right.
to get this, and it was really fun because I always did that with my parents on certain aspects. Was one of them was like I remember going to college, and this is when cell phones became cell phones. Like everyone had to get one.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, "You need to get a cell phone so we can reach you." I'm like, "Nah, I'm not gonna get a cell phone." And they're like, "Well, how are we because the school doesn't give you a landline, and how are we gonna call you?" I'm like, "You can just email me." They were like,
that's so true because I found that with my kids, they didn't like the cell phone thing. They thought that was
because I had to pay for it. I had to pay for it, and they're like, "You need to get one." I'm like, "No."
Because when they
I'm
called,
not paying $100 a month for you to bother me. You can just email me.
But when they called, it was showing up where they were, So it just defeated the whole purpose of them trying to, sneak off and go do something bad because
just email me.
You knew, I know what it was, and now there's AirTags, and that's all you need. I love knowing.
We got to get going, Cindy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry I took up part of your show, but it was a fun show to talk to you about.
It's okay. I love our shows.
So tomorrow's B, the historian.
Yes, and we get to hear the real story of the bank and the gunshots in the bank. Remember the story that Leah told us that.
I wonder if we're going to learn about the Bonnie and Clyde bridge that is being washed away.
Yeah. I can't believe they named That's amazing. That was a pretty violent couple, and they named a bridge after it. That's interesting. I mean, they're historical figures.
She's a feminist icon, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Him, not so much. Like, we're more of, Doc Holliday and stuff. We like the guys like that. We don't really care about
her.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Clyde, we don't care about Clyde. Bonnie, she's a groovy chick.
Well, that's interesting.
We gotta get going. We're gonna play the spot.
All right. Well, wait. Okay. All right. Anyway, so that's what we're going to do tomorrow. And first responders, we salute you, and we really admire you, and thank you for being so brave. And when you run to it, when we're running away, thank you so much. All the first responders, hey, have a great day, and be back here tomorrow so that you can learn more history about Montgomery County. All right. See you. Love you. Bye.
Every week, people ask the same two questions. Are they ready to retire? Will their savings last for their lifetimes? Hi, this is Chris Wootton with Wootton Financial Group. Our firm has been in Montgomery County for decades, but the hopes and dreams of the people we serve never change. We help answer these two questions and many more that people have about their uncertain financial future. We have a simple introductory client experience that allows us to get to know the client and includes a few meetings for the client to kick the tires at no charge. We provide a concise, one-page summary that helps the client get a better handle on which questions are the right questions for them. To learn more about Wootton Financial Group's process in helping their clients to a clearer financial future and to see their contact information, visit Cindy Cochran's show page on irlonestar.com/TCCS. Wootton Financial Group is a proud sponsor of the Cindy Cochran Show. Wootton Financial Group is available by phone at 936-449-5952 or visit them on the web at www.woottonfinancial.com. That's www.woottonfinancial.com.
This program is sponsored by the Wootton Financial Group. It is not the intent of Wootton Financial Group to render or offer personalized investment advice or financial planning advice through this radio program or any related website. Wootton Financial Group's participation in this program is limited to providing general information on financial matters and should not be construed as financial recommendation or investment advice. Investment advisory services are offered through Game Plan Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission and the state of Texas. Insurance services are offered through Wootton Financial Group, Inc. Game Plan Advisors and Wootton Financial Group, Inc. are affiliated through common ownership, and neither firm is affiliated with The Cindy Cochran Show. No listener should assume that any information presented and or made available on this program serves as the receipt of or a substitute for personalized individual advice from Game Plan Advisors, Wootton Financial Group, or any of their representatives.